So, but you try to bring out other opportunities that can benefit both parties. All right. That's, you are trying to add value in the negotiation. All right. So you can this can be done by involving um, certain attribute, like you trying to explore certain trade-offs, certain compromises, and or additional options that expand the opportunities that are available. Do you understand? So you can bring other opportunities. Sometimes that's why sometimes um, you go to a particular shop, you want to buy something. All right, you want to buy something, but maybe what you want to buy, um, you are negotiating, but maybe you are having some challenges, maybe financially, or maybe you are considering it to be too expensive, and then they bring you other alternatives so that you can see that, okay, this serve the same purpose. Do you understand? So why pay high for something that you can get it in another that can serve the same purpose? Do you understand? So creating value is very important in negotiation. Bring other options, bring other opportunities that are available, and then make compromises, trade off, let go certain things, and then get certain things. Just create value. Do you understand? That's what we're talking about here. And then maintain effective communication. Clear and open communication is key to successful negotiation. All right. Listen actively to the other parties. All right. So you have to give a listening ear to your parties involved in the negotiation. All right. So it's not just about you and you alone. Just um, make other parties available. Let them also participate. So discussion should be meaningful, and communication should be effective, and then listen carefully to what other parties are saying, so that you'll be able to detect, like we say, communication is not just by what they are saying, but also the gestures, and all of those composures and all of that, and the postures. Do you understand? Very, very important. So that you'll be able to detect what the other parties are saying, which are not necessarily being communicated. Do you understand? So that is it. Then build trust. Another principle in negotiation is to build trust. All right. Trust is very, very essential in negotiation. Nobody wants to discuss something with you and then that does not trust you. You are discussing business with me, but I'm having doubt. I'm not sure. So how can you create trust? How can you make me to believe you, to believe what you are saying, to say that what you are saying is genuine? Do you understand? All right. So that is it. All right. One of the reasons why we introduced this free training was for us, one, to create awareness, two, to impact, three, to delete the aspect of doubt, because there were some people that when they come in contact with us, at first they begin to doubt, is this in real, is this in the real, and all of that, since we are doing online business. Do you understand? So some people were doubting, so we have to create this opportunity so that people can interact with us and know that we are here for real and this is what we are doing. So we create this one, so enjoy the free one, so that by the time we ask you to pay a fee to become a member, you will not be doubting us anymore. Do you understand? So it's one of those things. So we look at those factors. Apart from the fact that we're creating awareness, we are also empowering people with skills. It was also essentially to build trust, so that if you are interacting with me now, I ask you to pay a fee to become a member of the institute, you will not doubt me again, will you? You will not. We have people that are representing us in other countries now. They are not doubting us because they are interacting with us here. But maybe there was no such kind of interaction. Maybe it would have become so very, very difficult. Do you understand? To even believe. So people need to trust you. In the business you are doing with them, build trust. Let them see element of trust in what you are trying to present to them. Let them see the reality, do you understand, of what you are talking about. It's very important. So in negotiation, you have to be honest. You have to be reliable. You have to be transparent in your interactions. There's nothing that we don't tell you. We tell you frankly We tell you what we're doing. We tell you what we are here for. We tell you our aspiration. We tell you our vision. We tell you everything about us. Okay? There's nothing that we hide from you. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So be honest. All right? Be honest. I cannot, for instance, now, assuming I say this training is free. From training, I call it free training. And then when you join the training, after the training, I say pay for certification. So what is free? It's not free again. Do you understand? So, but right from day one, we said it clearly that the training is free. From training to certification, it's free. So you don't need to pay for it. When something is free, it should be free. Do you understand? You cannot say training is free, but you pay for certification. No, we don't do that here. So, and I think we have issued about 2,000 plus certificates so far. Do you understand? Free of charge. Even though we have website that we are maintaining, right? We have data that we are bringing every day to do this training, but it's free. Do you understand? So when you pay a subscription fee or you pay a membership fee to become a member, this is where the money is going. We buy data, we do a lot of things, buy systems to help to impact our world. So this is how your membership fee is being used. All right. We are doing free things as well. We carry out outreaches. So this is what we are doing. So we are honest about what we do. Do you understand? So if training is free, it's free. So in negotiation, build trust. That's what I'm trying to emphasize here. Right? I think by the time I say training is free, but you pay certification, some of you will start doubting. You start having some questions to ask. Do you understand? So that is it. So create value, build trust, very important. Effective communication. These are principles of what negotiation. We still have some more. Use effective problem-solving techniques. All right, you have to also use effective problem-solving techniques. Employ problem-solving techniques such as brainstorming, exploring multiple options, and seeking creative solutions to overcome impasses and reach agreement that satisfy both parties. So that's what it is. So use brainstorm to address some of your problem. Sometimes in negotiation you get stuck. Do you understand? So you have to brainstorm. You have to bring up different ideas. You have to accommodate different ideas to arrive at a certain thing. Do you understand? So in politics, when it was as if Nigeria was drifting towards a one-party system, the opposition parties came together and decided to form a coalition. Is it not so? It's a negotiation. They came up with an option, came up with an alternative. What can we do differently? So that's negotiation. Brainstorm and come up with an idea. Do you understand? So please, another techniques and principle that you can use in negotiation is to use effective problem-solving techniques, brainstorming, exploring multiple options, and then seeking creative solutions are some of the things that you can deploy to see that you are able to deal with difficult negotiation situations that may encounter you. Then manage emotions. Yeah, sometimes in negotiation, emotions may be high. All right. So you have to manage the emotions, the various emotions. You have to manage them because sometimes, it gets stuck. Everybody's trying to achieve their goal and all of that. So it becomes so challenging. Do you understand? It becomes so challenging. So everybody will trying to get it, no matter what. I must get it. Do you understand? So sometimes in some places where people don't have respect for peace, all right, sometimes they end up fighting just because they want to get what they want. If you have not tried politics, go and try so that you understand what I'm talking about. When it's as if you are not going to be given ticket or nomination, you see how you become so violent and so brutal. and things like that. Do you understand? So these are the things that we're talking about here. But you have to manage these emotions when they arise, all right? It's because emotions can impact the negotiation process. It can distract. It can, it can create it can create mental derailment. So you have to really, really control your emotions. Even if someone is saying something that is pissing you up, you have to stay relaxed. Do you understand? And try to, as much as possible, to go with a person gradually until you are able to understand each other and arrive at a conclusion. All right? So that you not get yourself pissed up and get angry, and then the process you say, to hell with it. When we are pissed up, you say, to hell with it, I don't need it anymore. Where is it? I didn't come here for you to insult me. How can you be talking to me like that? Am I your mate? I don't want it anymore. I'm not going to do it again. So you understand what I'm talking about. So negotiation. So you manage your emotions. Even when somebody says something silly, you have to stay accommodated, tolerate. Stay calm. Stay focused. Stay composed. And get the deal done. Do you understand? Get the deal done. There are some certain deals that you go for, they will piss you up. Even for instance, in some interviews, they say things intentionally to make you to react. So you have to calm down. Sometimes even some interviewers will be asking you questions, like 3 people asking you the same different question at the same time. If you do not stay composed, if you do not stay calm in a situation like that, you will not be able to respond accurately. And that is where many people get it wrong, because they want to attempt to hold the question at the same time as it's being asked. No. Just compose yourself, stay focused, and take those questions one after the other. Not all. Right? So be willing to walk away. In negotiation, it's not a do or die affair. No. In negotiation, it's not a do or die affair. If it didn't go, it didn't go. Sorry, I'm trying to speak the English of our minister here. I'm part of, he's my landlord, so if I'm speaking the English, no verse, I beg. You understand? If it didn't go, it didn't go. Simple as that. So don't waste your time. If you know reach agreement, he's the one that say agreement is agreement. So, but if it didn't go, it didn't go. Just walk away. Do you understand? Don't kill yourself for anything. You understand? Don't kill yourself for anything. All right? Don't kill yourself for anything. It didn't go, it didn't go. Simple. Walk away. You try all your best. You wanted it, but it's not possible. You wanted to buy this piece of land, but the price is too much. Sir, walk away. You priced a particular item, you wanted to get it, but it's just beyond your budget. Walk away. There's no shame in walking away. All right? So, you must know that knowing when to walk away can be a powerful negotiation tactic. Yes, it is a tactic. You can walk away and still come back for the same item in another time. By the time those people don't get the person to say it, when you come the next time, they will consider you. All right? By the time the landlord say the rent is so expensive and you say, okay, you cannot pay, you walk away. By the time they didn't get anybody to pay for it, they'll consider you again. So walk away. It's not a sign of defeat. But you have to walk away so that you can come another day. Or seek for other opportunities. As simple as that. Does it make sense? So these are the principles of what? Negotiation. These are the principles of negotiation. Do we understand? Hope we are on the same page. We are on the same page. Yeah, that's it. Let's look at mediation. Let's look at the techniques of mediation. But before we look at the techniques of mediation, what is mediation? We say mediation is a form of alternative dispute resolution in which a neutral third party, known as a mediator, helps parties in conflict to reach a mutually acceptable resolution. That is, you facilitate conversation, you facilitate dialogue, you facilitate communication to make sure that the parties arrive at a solution that suits them. So the mediator facilitates communication between the parties, assists them in identifying issues, exploring possible solutions, and reaching a settlement. You are not going to dictate to them what they will say, but you will help them to come up with a peaceful agreement. In terms of how do you help them? You try to also you read out what one is saying, reframe where possible, and then also ask questions for affirmations, okay, or try to throw more light on what someone is trying to say, just to lay emphasis. Do you understand? But not that you are determining what they want to know. Someone is asking, Ronnie, you're asking, how can you register for this course? I will send you our WhatsApp number, or you can just take our WhatsApp number. Just take our WhatsApp number so that you can reach out to me after the training, so that we send you the link for you to register for the training. All right, Ronnie, are you there? So take the number. You're on YouTube. Anybody on YouTube, if you are on YouTube and you get the number right, tap it in the comment section so that Ronnie can get the number. The WhatsApp number is +234 80 77 98 77 57 +234 80 77 98 77 57. That is the WhatsApp number. You reach out to me, tell me that you want to register for the course, and then I will send you the link to register for it. Thank you very much. So we are talking about mediation. So mediation is a situation whereby you have a neutral person coming in between to help you to discuss, communicate effectively, and reach out a solution to your problem. That is it. That's negotiation. All together. Then, what are the principles or what are the techniques of mediation? Number one thing that you have to understand about mediation is that it's voluntary. It's voluntary. It's not by compulsion. You don't force anybody to go into negotiation. Negotiation ought to be done voluntarily. You don't force anybody into it. And that is why decisions that are being taken in negotiation are not binding. It's only decisions that are being taken in arbitration that are binding. All right. In mediation, decisions reached in mediation are not binding. I can mediate and help you to reach a resolution here, but immediately after you can walk away and say, I no do. What I have said, yes, what I said just now, I have changed my mind. I'm not doing it again. It cannot be binding. It cannot be taken to court, but it can serve as some level of evidence to be tendered in court, because at the end of the day, all the resolutions are going to be the mediator. You have to itemize the resolution and both parties sign. So when they sign, it can be tendered in the evidence as an evidence. All right, in the court of law, but in itself is not binding. Do you understand? It's not binding. It will just help the court to be able to understand the level people have gone. Do you understand? And it can also help the court to build on that, to ask questions. Why did you change your mind? Why did you renege on what you say you are going to do? Do you understand? So another techniques of mediation is that it is confidential. So in negotiation, it's not everything that you said, except where, in fact, whatever happened in negotiation is supposed to remain private. You don't have to go and say it anywhere. All right? They say what happened in Vegas remains in Vegas. What happened in Vegas remains in Vegas. So whatever happened in the negotiation, in the mediation room, should remain in the mediation room. Although there are exceptions in situation whereby life is being threatened, that is where certain aspect of the mediation can be revealed. We call that one we call it the Chatham principles. You understand? The Chatham House. You know the Chatham House in UK. That one, Akbaraka. Anything that they say in Chatham House is in the public. But in Vegas, what happened in Vegas remains in Vegas. But what happened in Chatham, we hear it here. When Buhari and them went to Chatham House, didn't you hear? When Tinubu and Obi went to Chatham House, we didn't hear. We heard it now. So, but one principle of mediation is that it has to be confidential. You cannot go and settle marital issue after you finish here, help immediately in marital issues, and then the next thing the person on the street is hearing that people have heard about all the things that people have discussed, then that is not mediation. Do you understand? That is not mediation. You have violated the principles of mediation. So mediation must be confidential. That is number 2. Number 3, mediation must be impartial. You, the mediator, the third party, the neutral party, must be neutral. You must be impartial. Any attempt to take side, you have destroyed it. All right? You have destroyed the confidence and the trust the parties have in you, or one of the parties have in you. Once one party begins to feel that you are taking side, that is the end of it. He is not going to do again. So another principle of mediation is impartiality. You have to remain impartial as much as possible. Number 3 or number 4 principle or techniques is informal. Mediation is less formal than traditional litigation or arbitration. Do you understand? It allows parties to have more control over the process and the outcome. So in mediation, you will say it's informal because you, the mediator, or the third party, don't have anything to say. You don't have power over whatever decision that the parties involved are going to arrive at. It's their own issue. They discuss it by themselves and find solutions by themselves. All you do is to help them to discuss it amicably. All right? You put in some ground rules. As a mediator, you put in some ground rules. No interruptions, no quarreling, no insult, no abuse in the negotiation. So you set those rules, and the parties must obey those rules while discussing their own problem to get a solution for their own problem. But you are not going to detect solutions to them. You are not going to detect resolutions to them. You are not going to advise them on what decision to do. You can only suggest certain things. All right? For instance, now, or maybe there is a very serious issue and you are trying to mediate, and the parties are not cooperating. So, for instance, now you can decide to point out a particular, for instance, like a law, maybe what the law says concerning a particular matter that has to do with the issue they are discussing, and then you are letting them to understand that failure to be able to reach agreement here, and this matter is being taken to court. This is what you're going to face. This is what the law says. This is the penalty that is involved. Do you understand? So you will not bring that to their notice so that they will know that this is the consequences ahead. All right? But you're not imposing a decision on them. You are just bringing this out for them to see what is ahead. Should they fail to reach agreement at this stage, this is the next stage they are going to meet. You understand? So, and any of this can happen. And if anybody that is being affected, you are going to serve certain period of years in prison, and you are going to pay social fine and all of those. So, by this, they will come back again and look at the possible way of reaching out a solution rather than insisting on their position. Do you understand? So that is what a negotiator is going to do, but not imposing your decision on them. So it's informal because the parties involved in the issue have absolute control over the process. You, the mediator, you are just a facilitator. You facilitate the process, but you cannot say anything. You cannot control anything. You cannot take decision for the parties. Right? And you cannot give award. So cost effective mediation can be more cost effective, of course, because anybody can intervene and help the parties resolve it without asking for a dime. But when it comes to arbitration, the arbiter may charge you. In some places they charge per hour. Arbiter may charge you. Do you understand? You bring a case to an arbiter or an arbitrator, they may charge you. Do you understand? So that's why it's preservation of relationship. In mediation, the basic aim is to preserve relationship. You don't want the business partner to go. You don't want the marital partner to go. You don't want your friendship to end. So the essence of mediation is to preserve relationship. The essence of mediation is to sustain community bonds, if it's at the community levels, right? That's it. So mediation is very, very important. All right. So in mediation, there are certain things that you're going to put in place as well. Active listening is one of the things that is expected in mediation. You must listen actively as a mediator. You must carry out some summary of what they have said. Do you understand what they have discussed? And then as a mediator, you can also reframe issues. All right, you reframe statements or issues in a neutral or more positive light, so to help parties see things from a different perspective rather than trying to impose anything. Do you understand? You can reframe statements. Then you can also brainstorm. All right, you can, like I said, you can bring an idea for them to look into it. What about this idea? Look at this. Can you try to consider this? And then they look at it by themselves, and you just call them attention to a particular issue, like the issue of the law that I was talking about, and then it will help them. Then caucusing in negotiation, what that means is that as a third party, there are issues that you need to hear from the parties involved individually. You don't need to bring those individuals together. You don't need to bring them together for a discussion. Maybe before you bring them together, you must caucus. Right? That's what we call caucusing. Caucus. All right? You must meet those the individuals involved individually, separately, hear from each other, collect data before you now bring them to a round table for a discussion. Do you understand? That's what caucusing is all about. So the mediator meets with each party separately to discuss sensitive issues. These are issues that maybe if we call the parties involved together to come for a discussion, before you know it, they'll start fighting. Do you understand? Because they are sensitive issues. So you meet with them separately, collect ideas, have an understanding of what the issue is all about, and then when you bring them together, you will see how you can, balance the issue so that there will be no quarrel. Do you understand? That's what it is. managing emotions. So as a mediator, you have to manage the emotions that are involved in mediation, because sometimes one may want to raise voice, so one may want to react, but the essence why you are there as a mediator is to calm those situations. Do you understand? Help the parties overcome and they have control over their emotions, so that they can be able to negotiate and mediate communicate very well. Then, of course, generating options. You also help parties to generate variety of options, so that in case one did not meet up with their expectation, maybe another option will meet with their expectation. So you help them. And then there is what we call reality testing. Reality testing. So those are another techniques to consider. The mediator may help parties evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of their positions. Okay, the resolution they have arrived at, you help them to do a reality testing. All right. So you like what I was saying before. The reality testing is making them to see the possibility. Okay, if for instance now it was a deadlock, like everybody maintain their position, then you bring the issue of that quote I mentioned. See, this is what the law says concerning this matter. Should this matter go beyond this place where we're discussing now, this is what you're going to face. This is reality testing. So they will see the reality ahead of time, so that by the time if we go to court and it did not favor you, or it did not favor a particular party, you are going to bear. These are the consequences. Reality testing. So agreement drafting. So once everything is being said and done, and the parties are satisfied with their resolution, what do? You pen them down, make them sign, you also sign. This can be tendered as an evidence in the court of law, even if, but it's not binding. Anybody can renege it, but it can serve as a very good evidence to the court to build on, to continue with their investigation. Do you understand? Then, last for today, we're going to look at the case studies of successful negotiation and mediation. We have Good Friday Agreement, 1998. The Good Friday Agreement, also known as the Belfast Agreement, was a landmark peace agreement in Northern Ireland, and that sought to end the decade-long conflict between nationalists and unionists. There were other also tribal issues in Northern Ireland, and political issues with political leadership, and all of this was a very serious issue. How power is being rotated and all of that, it was very, very problem. But this Good Friday Agreement was able to solve the problem. Negotiation process. The negotiation involved multiple parties, including the British and Irish government, as well as political parties representing both communities in Northern Ireland. The talks spanned several years and involved intense mediation efforts. Outcome: the agreement established a power-sharing government in Northern Ireland, addressed issues of governance, human rights, and decommissioning of paramilitary weapons. Do you understand? So that was the agreement. So it was a very successful one. Then we have another one, Camp David Accords. Camp David Accords, 1978. All right, Camp David Accords, 1978. Background: the Camp David Accords were a series of agreements signed by Ethiopian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, mediated by the U.S. President Jimmy Carter, all right, at the Camp David Presidential Retreat in Maryland in U.S. Do you understand? So the negotiation at Camp David were intense and lasted for 13 days. Unlike the Good Friday Agreement that lasted for several years, this one lasted for 13 days only. President Carter played a crucial role in facilitating communication between the parties and finding common ground. All right, so that's what it did. Outcome: the accord led to a peace treaty between Israel and Egypt. That's why today, and it was about land issues, boundary issues. Do you understand? Egypt says Israel were encroaching. Israel say, okay, should we stop? If we stop, it means that You are not going to join our allies to fight us. And that's why today, if Iran and any other, the Houthis and others are trying to attack Israel, Egypt has to protect Israel. They have to intervene. If they do not intervene, they will be fighting a war with Israel. Do you understand? And they don't want to. If Israel say that there are no humanitarian aid that are going to pass through Egypt to Palestine, it will not pass. If they want to stop it, they'll stop it. If they ask Egypt to close their border, Egypt will close their border. If they ask Egypt not to accept any refugees, Egypt will not accept, based on this agreement that was reached. Do you understand? So, the agreement laid the foundation for diplomatic relations between the two countries and has endured for decades. As simple as that. Then South Africa's transition to democracy, 1990s. Background, the negotiation that ended apartheid and led to South Africa's transition to democracy are often cited as successful example of conflict resolution through negotiation. Negotiation process. The negotiation involved the African National Congress, ACN, led by Nelson Mandela, the apartheid government, and other political parties. Mediation efforts were supported by international actors like our country, Nigeria. Right? The outcome, the negotiation resulted in the peaceful dismantling of apartheid, and then the release of Nelson Mandela from prison and the establishment of a democratic system with universal suffrage. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission was also established to address past human rights violations. Right? And they were able to solve their own problems. And South Africa is on the path of development because they were able to reconcile. All right? And then justice was served where necessary. All right? So these are some of the case studies that we have considered today. So tomorrow we'll be considering peace building strategies. Peace building strategies. So you can join us tomorrow for this training. I want to thank you all for taking time to be part of today's training. And I wish you a very best evening rest. And we'll be giving you the manual very, very soon. The manual will be released towards the end of this week. That is by weekend or so. We'll give you the manual so that you can go through it and be preparing ahead of your exams at the end of the month. So thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. Any question? So you can subscribe to our YouTube so that you prepare yourself ahead of the advanced courses. All right, you can enjoy. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night rest. Bye. And in case you want to become a member of the institute, the registration is going on. Inductions are going to be in August. You can also register to become a member of the institute. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.